What's going on, guys? Seth here from Team Union. Seth, back as your coach of the Philadelphia Fearows for our Week 2 battle in the IPL. Couple things I just wanted to mention. For the IPL, I don't plan on really doing team builders. So, just because it's another league that's not super important, it's kind of weird with the niche. So I'm just going to upload the battles for you guys just so you can see them. Normally they will be live comm. I know last week it wasn't. It was a post comm, and this week again it's going to be a post comm. This week I didn't have much time to prepare. I kind of just whipped this team together in like 10-15 minutes and then battled him right afterwards. So I didn't really get a chance to do a team build. I didn't get a chance to go super in depth with all these sets. So it does reflect in my prep and in my play that I didn't spend much time on this. But just to update you guys, we did pick up Necrozma between weeks 1 and 2 for the league. So our 7th mon on the team is Necrozma. Now Necrozma's awesome. It gives me a stealth rocker, another stealth rocker other than Lycan Rock. It gives me potential setup options with things like Rock Polisher, Totemize, and even Calm Mind. Excuse me, and it gives me another bulky mon to help take some hits and deal walls. So I was really excited to pick up Necrozma. I'm really happy that I was able to grab that one. But anyway, getting right into the battle, we brought our Mega Scizor, Zygarde 50%, Slurpuff, Milotic, Lycan Rock Dusk, and Necrozma. So we left on the bench, we left Electrode. And then our opponent brought his Cobalion, Kyurem Black, Gliscor, Meloetta, Mega Gyarados, and Clefable. So I don't know why I've faced so many Kyurem Blacks lately. I don't get it. I guess I was just the person that was picked to take on all the Kyurems, which is lovely. But anyway, Kyurem Black sucks to prep for. It's so good. Its coverage, like, it doesn't get a ton of coverage, but what it gets is just so good and it's so hard to stop. So again, not spending a lot of time and having to face a Kyurem Black definitely was not a good combination. So let's get into the battle. My opponent leads off with his Cobalion as I lead off with my Mega Scizor. Switches out into Gyarados, just to probably get that Intimidate off as I double out into my Necrozma. Now obviously I didn't want to stay in on a Mega Gyarados, so I decided to double out to Scizor as he Mega Evolves and just goes for the Taunt. So he goes for a Taunt, probably predicting me to go for Rocks or something like that, and obviously he doesn't want Rocks on his side of the field because they're pretty good against his team. But he's going to double out to Cobalion as I decide to go for the U-turn with my Mega Scizor. So I Mega Evolve, go for the U-turn, and switch out back into my Necrozma. So now at this point, I do know I want to get Rocks up, but he goes for the Taunt again on Cobalion. So double Taunt, pretty interesting. So I can't get Rocks up, so I do just double out into my Milotic, which is physically defensive, meant to take things like this on. It is a Flame Orb set, but he ends up Toxicing us, which I thought was a little weird, but pretty cool in general. So we are Toxic, so I just go for the Scald, trying to get a burn, but unfortunately we do not get it. So at this point I'm just gonna go for another Scald. Slurpuff has Aromatherapy in the back, so I'm not too worried about the Toxic. So we go for another Scald. He switches in his Kyurem Black. Now this really interested me because if his Kyurem got burned, it could not touch this Milotic. So that I felt a little iffy about. Not exactly sure why he did that, but it sucks that we didn't get the burn. But anyway, we switch into our Necrozma, which is kind of our dedicated Kyurem answer. Our physically defensive Necrozma. So we get a little leftovers recovery. Now, I made the mistake of not packing Moonlight on Necrozma, and you guys will see how that affects us later. But we finally get up our Rocks. We don't get taunted this time, as the Gliscor gets his Toxic Orb up and goes for the Earthquake. So we take a little bit of damage, as I just go for the Photon Geyser to try to get off some damage, and we do a good chunk. We do a nice 62%. This is going to heal some of that back with the Toxic recovery. At this point, I'm going to switch out into Slurpuff. I want to get an Aromatherapy off and heal up my Milotic, just so it can have a little more longevity for the future. So I go for the Wish first on his Earthquake, so I am just going to go for my Wish, just so I can live a little bit longer. So we are a support Slurpuff. I didn't think Belly Drum did too great this week. In hindsight, it might have done decently, but oh well. There's the Aromatherapy, so we heal up the Toxic on both Slurpuff and Milotic as we get our Wish back. Goes for another Toxic and he misses, as I am just going to go for another Wish and switch out into Mega Scizor, potentially to get a Swords Dance up and fire off some powerful attacks. So he goes for the Earthquake, we get our Wish back, so we're at full. And I go for the Swords Dance as he goes for the Fire Fang. So Fire Fang does over half, which sucks, so that, you know, if I Bullet Punch, it can do some damage, but then my Mega Scizor would die to another Fire Fang. So I do just decide to switch out into my Milotic. We take the Fire Fang with no problem, as we get our Flame Orb up this time instead of being Toxic. Now at this point I do want to recover health, so I just go for the Recover. I want to be as healthy as possible to take on things like the Kyurem and the Mega Gyarados, as well as even the Gliscor. So I do go for the Recover, try to get up as healthy as I can. As my opponent goes for, we switch out into Zygarde, predicting the Fusion Bolt, and we do predict correctly. He goes for the, he goes for the Roost, which as soon as I saw Roost, I was immediately terrified, because we started to wear him down with the rocks, and he went for Roost. So we switch out into Slurpuff, predicting, a Dragon or even an Ice move. As we take that decently well, but I am able to just go for another Wish as he goes for another Ice Beam. So I get up my Wish, and I do want to switch out just so I don't waste the Wish. So I'm going to double into my Mega Scizor. I know it can take any hit he wants to go for. So we're eating the Ice Beam, and we get that Wish back and get up to a decent amount of health. Now I know he's not going to want to stay in because of my Bullet Punch, so I am just going to... I did just U-turn out, but he went for the Hidden Power Fire. So I completely was not thinking there about Hidden Power Fire. Predicted me very well to not Bullet Punch as my Mega Scizor dies and I go into Necrozma, who takes a ton from the Kyurem Black. So I kind of went into panic mode at this point with Necrozma and just went for the Photon Geyser, which ultimately sacking this thing off. We do a decent amount of damage, but he does have the Roost, so it's pretty scary him being able to have that. I'm just going to switch to my Lycanroc Dusk as my Necrozma goes down. Definitely threatening to hit that thing hard, potentially knock it out, as I am just going to go for the Iron Head to try to knock out the Kyurem, but obviously he switched to bring in the Cobalion, so I do just go for the Brick Break, knock out Cobalion, giving him the opportunity to bring in his Gliscor. So he brings in the Gliscor. There's not a whole lot I can do to this thing, so I am just going to double out into my Slurpuff, basically just sacking it off at this point, so I can get a free switch into the Milotic. Now, I don't have Dragon Dance on Zygarde. It's, I believe it's a Coil set. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I just go into my Milotic. If I had Dragon Dance, I would have gone into Zygarde at this point and Dragon Dance to try to win the game. But we go to my Milotic, as I just go for the Scald, get a little bit of damage off the Meloetta, and we do burn it, which is cool if he is the Pirouette set, which it turns out he is. He goes to the Relic Song, does minuscule damage to me as I just get up a Recover. So I know I can just wear this thing down at this point. I don't think he's going to want to switch out. I don't think there's a point in preserving it. So he just goes for another Relic Song as I go for another Scald, trying to get off some damage and chip it down. And at this point it's just a waiting game to try to stay up at as full health as I can while slowly chipping down this Meloetta. Go for another Recover on his Relic Song. Now I know he's faster than anything on my team at this point, even the Lycanroc, once he's in Pirouette form. So I decided to go into Lycanroc predicting another Relic Song, but he actually just goes for the Return, which is fine. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage for us, but I know he outspeeds me, and I don't really want to take a Drain Punch or a close combat to the face. So I double out to my Milotic, and he actually just went for another Return, which is a little surprising. If I had been predicting that, I probably would have saved the Lycanroc and Swords Dance, and then I could have knocked him out with an Accelerock. But at this point here, I just recover up with my Milotic. In hindsight, the next move I go for is actually just a Scald to knock him out. In hindsight, I should have gone for the Recover to stay at as high health as I could have for potentially the Kyurem and the Gyarados. But I do just go for the Scald to knock him out, as we are going to stand at 74% to take on the rest of his team, which is not exactly great. We're at only 3/4 of health, which is not good considering this Milotic is going to be really valuable for the rest of his team. So he switches to the Kyurem Black and just goes for a Fusion Bolt. I am able to live it and go for another Recover, just because I want to keep my health as high as possible, but that still did way too much damage. So I know I can live another one, but not well. So I am just going to switch out. Excuse me. Predicting another Fusion Bolt, but he just goes for the Roost. And at this point, this game's pretty much over. There's not much I can do. I go into Lycanroc basically just to sack it off to get my Milotic back in, but after Rock's damage and potentially another burn damage, this Fusion Bolt is just going to be too much to handle, and the Kyurem Black in general is just too much to handle. So my Zygarde set was, I believe it was like a sub-coil set, and it didn't have a whole lot of speed on it, so it was not able to speed tie or outspeed the Kyurem. In hindsight, I probably should have run a Dragon Dance set to outspeed the Kyurem and outspeed like a +1 Gyarados and things like that. But I did not, and he ends up killing me with the Ice Beam, and we lose 4-0. Again, I didn't prepare well for this match. I threw this team together in like 10-15 minutes. Not making excuses. I should have been prepped before. I should have been able to just prep better in general. So I am very disappointed. I felt like my play wasn't terrible, but I didn't have a very good team to support me playing. So that's it for this one, guys. Comment down below what you thought, things that you thought I could have done better, maybe different sets, things like that. But other than that, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.